you're over the age of 35, stop everything you're doing right now. After a lifetime of eating fatty foods, you may run the risks of a stroke or heart attack due to plaque buildup in your veins and arteries. To learn how you can reduce your risks, visit youthfountainlab.com or call 1-800-853-7856 today. This may be a life-changing call for you or someone you love. Thank you, and we hope to hear from you.
About Dame though, we're gonna talk about this other story with Dame Dash too, man. He was actually sued, and we talked about the lawsuit I think when it first popped off, but he lost a massive lawsuit the other day when a jury handed down an $805,000 dollar judgment to the Dear Frank director Josh Weber and Muddy Waters Pictures. Shortly after the news broke, Roc-A-Fella Records co-founder shared a screenshot of the TMZ story saying that, you lose some battles to win a war. Stay tuned. Right now, Dame Dash was originally hired back for the movie in 2016, but he was ultimately removed from the project because he was deemed unfit for the job. Now, Weber and Muddy Water Pictures claim he was always high on the set while shooting the film, and they got rid of him. Now, in 2019, they sued Dame Dash for copyright infringement and defamation, claiming, right, that he tried to shop Dear Frank around on his own. They also alleged that he sent promotional material to networks such as BET, but changed the film's title to List. Now, Dame argued they shot the film at his home using all his equipment, and so that kind of is what it is. So they got rid of him. He still tried to, move forward like it was his, but he claimed that it was all his stuff and he did the movie. It was his movie, but ultimately they ruled against Dame Dash.
This is the shitty part about the shit that we do, because ultimately we got to just keep it real sometimes with people we like and we respect and we got love for. And Dame Dash is one of these people today, because when you look at this situation, unfortunately, I got to keep it 1,000. When you looking at copyright court, it's pretty cut and dry. Paperwork is what it is.
Yeah.
It's laid out. It's not based off emotion. It's based off of cut and dry work.
Right.
And then the evidence is outstanding if, in fact, you were booted off for whatever reason. People can argue it, but if those were their rules, they were their rules, and whatever the reason is, it is. Mm-hmm. But then go and grab the project further, and there's documents that you went and shopped it to BET and various other networks, under aliases, whatever the case may have been, and still use promotional works to promote and shop the movie. And then it ultimately made me think about what Irv Gotti said. I think he was on Drink Champs when he talked about Dame and how he had love for Dame, but and gave an example of a situation that kind of happened just like this is kind of playing out right now. So I don't know if this is a pattern in behavior, maybe in his DNA, that I don't mean that in a negative way, but just kind of maybe who he is. That when he has something in his mind, like he said that he used his crib and they used, that may all be true. But
Right.
if you didn't own it,
you ain't own it.
You ain't own it.
Right. He also called them culture vultures. Dame Dash called them culture vultures as well. Yeah, got to keep it 100. Got to keep it 100 on this. If they had the evidence in court, I mean, I'm not gonna sit up here and say the court is always 100% fair, but I think, at times it is. At times, the judge allows you to bring your side and someone else to bring their side, and if you got documentation,
Right.
contracts, text messages, things like that you can prove your case, then you just prove your case. And we got to just go and look at it, for how it is. And like, all right, you lost this. Now you owe, damn near $1 million, to this film company, man. It's crazy, man. My thing is, love Dame Dash, love what he stands for, the independence and everything. But I think when you start to see a pattern with someone or something, I think you have to tend to believe, or look into what that pattern is, whatever that may be. And if people keep having bad situation after bad situation with people, then I think you kind of just gotta just go for what it is. Like, all right, this person may be the problem in these different situations. That's 100% keeping it real.
He loves to get in front of his own narrative. He's quick to acknowledge what's going on and kind of make sure that we understand that he has everything under control, right? Do you think he has everything under control all the time?
Not with this.
I mean, yeah, it's clear.
I mean, because you say he jumped in front of his narrative, so it pretty much meaning like he I'm gonna post a story now and let people know, like, all right,
Exactly what he did.
you lose some, you win some. You know what I mean? I lost this battle, I'm winning the war. What's the war in this? Is there any war, or is it just over?
800,000 is a heavy fucking blow.
Right, ain't no war. It was just a battle that's lost. What
over.
you gonna do? Appeal it? Like, I mean, that's a possibility, I guess, but
That's too much money. That's a lot of money.
right, it's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money to be kicking out. And the thing is, once something like that happens, then you get a judgment against somebody. Now it's a court order. Now they can begin to try to come after Dame, whatever that may be that he owns in his name, which is probably not much at this point if he knows how to move, because he's had problems before. But we weren't there, but all we got to do is go by what the court said. And if the court said it, they said it.
It's pretty.
What y'all want us to do?
This ain't no murder case where you got, you know what I mean, or a RICO charge where you got FBI maybe doing some things to make it go their way. This is copyright and evidence. Like,
he took the movie. They said he took the movie.
It's crazy.
He tried to put it under another name. Like, he's pretty much saying it's a movie, but you got to be able to prove that. And obviously, he didn't prove it in court.
With that said, oh God, right? We look at this situation, right? And it was about a movie. This situation right here, he's about to pay out.
Right.
And then we go back to the last conversation in regards to paid in full. We know he's doing paid in full too. And he's really out front of that. In your honest opinion, do you think that this is going to be successful given his track record with a lot of films? Some films are great, state prop, paid in full. He's done a bunch of great films.
Yeah.
But there's also been situations where he's partnered up and did certain things where it didn't go too well. What do you think the success rate of paid in full will be too?
I hope he can pull that off. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say he can't. I think it definitely can. Yeah. It depends on him. Like, is this a project that he's going to finish? Because remember the Culture Vultures movement, we talk about that. I think we had him on the podcast. We asked Dame, what happened with that whole situation when he went to apologize to Lior. Yeah. That shit was the most powerful thing in hip hop. Imagine like now where that would have been at, the whole Culture Vultures, the part 2, and that shit is dead now, dog.
You know what's fucked up about that? And I don't mean to cut you off.
Nah, you good.
We were sitting here at one of the platforms spearheading that shit and trying to help.
Oh, yeah.
Loved it. You know what I'm saying? Loved the movement and really walked and talked what they were trying to represent in that book. You know what I'm saying? And built something based off of that. Wasn't the ground of why we did what we did. But when we look at a book like that, it gives us motivation doing what the fuck we're doing.
Right.
To go out here and keep grinding because of at the end of the rainbow, we see what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? We see what's good with it. The pot of gold is sitting right there, and this is what we're working towards. And then we see the pieces in play, and not so much Kenyatta, because shout out to the brother, he's grinding. But the biggest piece in play, Dame Dash continuing to go through these things is tough. And then, like you said, Culture Vulture, please.
And it was nothing, I don't think it was nothing wrong with that movement. You know what I mean? I think it just got too hot. Because look at Bollywood. Maybe Hollywood wasn't giving, East Indians opportunity. So what they do? They create Bollywood. Bollywood, if I'm not mistaken, is bigger than Hollywood now. So there's nothing wrong with creating your own and doing business with your own. Not to say that they wouldn't do business with nobody else, but they're making sure, like, all right, we own the studios, we own the set, we own everything from top to bottom. We're going to profit off of this and sell it to you. What's wrong with that? And we ain't letting certain people in unless, we sanction you and allow you in. That's what the whole thing, was about. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, is about just keeping, having your own kind of little fraternity, of people that do business with each other, but don't allow other people to come in and exploit what you got going on. You know what I mean? So I just think that with the whole thing, it just got too hot. And anytime you're going against the grain, right, I think people started to realize that you kind of need some of those outlets that you're talking out against. You know what I mean? To really move like you're going to move. Because what happened with the network joint? Have you heard anything about that?
Dame Dash Network?
Yeah, I don't know how that's going now.
Nah, me neither. I can't lie. Hope it's doing well.
I know. I mean, it's a noble idea.
Don't know.
It's a noble idea, but some people in life, I'm not saying this is necessarily Dame, they have a lot of great ideas, right? Mm-hmm. And I knew somebody like this, and they would, it's almost kind of bipolarism. They would say a lot of great things, and then when it's time to actually implement those things, it comes to like, oh damn, like you just don't get done. But you got all the idea, and everybody probably knows something like that.
Sure do.
They got mad ideas and this and that and that, right? But it's like when it's time to really get it done, like they know where to be found.